Yeah. So, does anyone have a question?
I have a question.
Yes.
I would like you, if you could speak about being,
About
because
who?
being, to be,
Being?
being, because it's an emotional, it's uh, difficult to qualify. When you are meditating,
Well,
is just as you get empty.
you know, uh, look, as soon as you try to understand it, it becomes what you just expressed. Being is living in the moment, being totally conscious of everything that exists in the moment of your life. And being able to do that, as I say over and over again, requires the development of a system inside that can quiet the mind, that can quiet the emotions, that can quiet the sexual energy, and allow you to totally live in the now. As long as you're in your head, as long as you're in your emotions, it's like a ping pong game that goes on inside you from the past to the future to the present to the, and we never truly have any inner peace. Living in the moment requires inner peace. It requires us to be quiet, to be loving, to be open, to be a master of our inner self, and as soon as you try to understand this, it becomes exactly the opposite. It is just being. It is just, you know, being a child of God, in the world, and allowing yourself to become free of all those encumbrances that keep you from doing this. This is really one of the end points of this meditation practice, is to develop an inner life that can do this. It doesn't mean we don't have family, friends, we don't, live in the world. We do, but we're not, you understand, we're not being destroyed by the world. We're not being sucked dry by the world. And as soon as we get in our heads and our emotions, that's what happens. Life is like a big vacuum cleaner that eats us up. It just consumes us. And we have to really reverse the process. We have to be able to look at life as a teacher. We have to see that life is telling us exactly what we need to do to grow. So it's not an enemy. It's not, a dictator. It's just an energy force that is the most remarkable teacher that we can possibly have. Much greater guru than Stuart, much greater. But my job is not to be a guru. My job is to try to help people build a system inside to where they can live their lives in the moment. And by living their lives in the moment, they are capable of allowing life to be the teacher. We're no longer intimidated by all the nonsense that goes on in the world. You understand? We embrace it. We embrace life. We let life teach us what we have to do to grow. And in the process of doing that, we recognize that what we see in the world is just a reflection of ourselves. Understand, life is a mirror of each and every one of us. We all see different realities because every human being is unique and every human being is different. So life is telling each and every one of us exactly what we need to do to grow. Now, we can never grasp this if we're so entangled in our tension, in our minds, in our emotions. We haven't built a system yet that's strong enough to master those things. So what happens is when we look out at the world, we see an entanglement of our emotions, our anger, our fear, our insecurity. That's what we see. And as we change, the world around us that we see changes. And I'm not talking about this because I read it somewhere in a book. It's what I went through in my own life, having to become a master of my inner self. And as slowly, gradually over time that happened, I began to see a different world around me. And, you know, because look, we live in a, you know, look, and the terrible thing about all of this is that from the moment we're born, we're, you know, we live in a world where the people and life tries to condition us, you know, to believing that if we fix what's out there, everything is going to be better. I mean, as long as I can remember, they've been trying to fix what's out there. It's always, we're going to put money, we're going to put more money, and it never gets fixed. It just gets worse because people don't do one simple thing. They've got to fix themselves. They have to fix their inner lives. Now, to get 7 billion people to do this is an impossibility, but each and every one of us can do it and truly learn how to transform the daily world we live in. And that's not dependent upon anybody else. It's simply dependent upon learning how to do what I'm talking about. That's another level of reality. You understand? And it's a level of reality that most people don't live with because they just day after day, year year, month after month, they are so entangled in their minds and emotions and sexual energy because they never truly have made an effort to learn how to master their inner selves. This meditation is about learning how to do this. And then you can love the people in your life. That's what you know deeply. You know, they make mistakes, they do stupid things. So what? We can love them anyway. They're the people in our lives. They're our families. They're our friends. They're the people we have grown up with. You know, and we can forgive them all of the different stuff that they do, only because we see the world differently. We're not stuck in trying to manipulate an external world that can never be fixed. So we can fix ourselves. I mean, I talked a while back, I read a book called The Man of, Don Quixote. I mean, it's an extraordinary example of what I'm talking about. That book is really an amazing book because it's all about a human being looking at their own reality. I mean, where we see windmills, he saw knights trying to conquer him. Where we would see pigs, he saw, the enemy. And I mean, and that's what goes on in the world. Everybody is seeing their own kind of distorted reality. And we respond to it accordingly, and it creates so many problems in the way we relate to other people. And the secret and the real clue to all this is we've got to fix ourselves. I keep telling this to people over and over and over again. And as we get centered and balanced and open inside, we see the world differently. The world becomes another kind of place. I mean, if they want war to come to an end on this stupid planet, people are going to have to fix themselves, not get involved in all these, dogmas and religions and this and that, and mine is better than yours. And, and if you don't believe that, you're going to hell. And I mean, all this stuff that goes on in the world is so stupid. It's only a product of people not fixing themselves. If you fix yourself, God is love. You're grateful for even the stupid things that people do around you when they insult you. You can say, okay, what do I have to learn? How can I grow because of what people are saying about me? They're no longer the enemy. They're just the teacher. I mean, it's like, in the Bible, who's going to throw the first stone? It's really such a profound truth said in such a simple and direct and beautiful way. Who's going to be the first one to sit there and judge anybody else? None of us. Is that clear? I hope so, because I don't know how to put it better. You have to go to another teacher to put it better than the way I'm doing it. I just don't know how to say it any better. But I think it's really important to learn this. And then fear goes away, anxiety goes away, anger goes away, judgment goes away. We hold our opinions. We begin to listen to life instead of fighting with life. Letting life teach us simply what we have to do to grow every day. What we have to do to change. And I think that to me, it's an amazing way to look at life. It took me years to manage to do this. I mean, it's not something I was able to do when I was 20 years old. I mean, I was a really angry young man when I was a kid. I was the whole world, you know? And then it changed over time, it changed. And it's the only reason I can have even all of you in my life, because each and every one of you is different and you bring something different. And it means that I have to flow with the moment. I have to be in the moment. And if I'm going to live in the moment, I can't be judging anybody. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Stuart,
Larry.
You've mentioned that aside from doing the inner work and mastering it, we sometimes need our teacher to break us. Now, if we have a frozen place in ourselves that, you know, we want to get through that, can you?
Look, let me explain something. About a month ago, I told people that as of July, I'm going to be open to have classes in my house, and and 2 people showed up, right? I mean, nobody even got in touch with me. And one other person did. I'm sorry. Well, I went with these 2 people on vacation. It wasn't really a vacation. We had a retreat, for God's sake. 2 meditation classes a day, hands-on. And I did it because they came. They wanted. They were hungry. You understand? I can tell you this, but I can't chase after people. And I'm not going to go traveling around the world anymore, teaching these retreats. I almost killed myself in 2019 doing that. You know, people have to make the effort. They have to say, okay, I will come. I will do what I have to do to look. I did that with Rudy. I went, can I live in your house? I told him that. I asked him that. I knew if I was going to live in his house, I was going to get broken down every day. But I knew I needed that. I lived in his house. He had a big house, you know, and I was able to live there. But I knew if I spent a year living there, it was not going to be easy. I was going to be broken down and I needed to be broken down. And he did things like when he left, I was his teacher. I would, wear robes and, look like a holy man. And then one day he said, I don't want you to teach anymore. It was the one thing that I valued more than anything in the world. He took it away from me. And I sat down and I did a deep meditation and I discovered why he took it away. Stuart, it's the first time in your life you can grow from the very roots. He took everything away from you. And now you can truly grow as a healthy. I went and gave him a hug. And he said, I didn't think you'd get it this quickly. It was amazing, But he taught me how to deal with that. So I didn't go bitching and complaining and, running away and how can he do this? And why did he do this? And that was all nonsense, I found a real answer. And then 3 months later, he said, I want you to go to Denton, Texas. So I said to him, Rudy, what am I supposed to do in Denton, Texas? He said, I want you to go there. I said, well, Rudy, you told me I'm not a teacher anymore. I told him. He started to laugh. He said, you're really learning, huh? You're really learning. I want you to go there and teach. You understand? You got to have the guts to be willing to do this stuff. Otherwise, it doesn't work. I mean it. And I learned that from him. I saw him go to an ashram in India where he did not want to be. And he said, why, Rudy? Because this teacher can break me down. I've never met anyone who can do it. To get past those, those frozen places in myself. Understand, there has to be that need. When those two people, one came for a month, for God's sake, to study with me here. Rented a Airbnb in New York City and comes up here every day for meditation. The other one came for 2 weeks. It broke my heart. I said, okay, well, you go on vacation with me. We'll have, and every day we had 2 meditations, hands-on healing. It was wonderful. It was better than just me go sitting out in the woods and relaxing, And everybody, by the time it was glowing. They were glowing. I hope this is clear, because there's got to be somewhere where that effort is made so that you demand of the teacher, not through lip service gratitude, but through your activity, your actions, your doing, how you, contribute. And I know it's not easy because, people live here in Jerusalem, in Israel, they live in Norway, Ben is in Albania, people are all over the world. And that's not easy, and I understand that. But there are also ways of doing it, that you have to find in yourself that really breaks people down. Look, it took me years to learn this, years. I remember I was in India with Rudy. I'll never forget this. And he really was going through a hard time there. He had forces working on him that I had never seen in my life. And I mean cosmic forces. The classes were like something from a dimension that I had never lived through, and he was being taken apart day by day, and he was upset with everybody. And he looked at me and I said, I want any more of your lip service gratitude. I used to write in these letters, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. Show it to me by your action, It was a great lesson for me. It was a great lesson for me. Yes, one has to express gratitude, but one's actions, what one does, what one contributes is the highest expression of gratitude. They're willing to go beyond oneself to do in this world. I mean it, So when you ask that question, it brings all of this up. How do you break down those frozen? That's how you do it. That's how you break down those frozen parts of yourself. Otherwise, it's, Macbeth, it's tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace.
It's 2 o'clock.
From day to day till, the last, that's what it is,
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a question? I hope this is clear, because I want you all to grow. I mean it. I really want everybody to get the fullest benefit of what this meditation is about. The same way that Rudy demanded that I get the fullest benefit of what this meditation is about. It takes patience, it takes time, it takes guts. It takes not living in tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow to the last syllable of recorded time, It takes doing. Anyway, look, does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, there'll be a class on Thursday. And again, God bless you all for being here. This is a big education for me too. And all of your presence here really demands on me that I have to work in a kind of depth that I'm finding to be quite extraordinary. And I couldn't do this without the presence of every single person that's here. So thank you and bless you. I hope to see people Thursday. and have a wonderful evening, and God bless you all.
God bless you too. Thank you so much.
This one.